Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Perfect Talk with Dr. Hlami. It's that time of the day where we are talking everything agriculture. The platform is used to bridge the knowledge gap. We invite people who are making it in the agricultural sector, who entered the sector through the different pathways. I'm sure by now you can recite with me. What I would like to draw your attention is that perfect is coded, it's color coded. Every time you see that orange color, you know that we are talking policies. When you see the maroon color, you know we are talking education. That yellow color, we are talking research. When you see the green color, we are talking farming and finance. When you see that sky blue color, we are talking everything extension and advisory services. That I don't know how to call that, but that middle color there, blue. We are talking communications, knowledge management, and monitoring and evaluation. When you see that dark blue color, we are talking everything technologies and trade. Today we are doing a perfect education, but also we bring a bit of farming, because the person that we are hosting today, it's so versatile. He's in the education space, but also he's doing farming. He's also in the research space. Ladies and gentlemen, let me present to you Mr. Nyiko Patson Maluleke. Patson, welcome to the Perfect Talk with Dr. Hlami.
Thank you for welcoming me, Dr. Hlami.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, just a disclaimer. I first met, Patson probably in 1994, I think. No? Somewhere there. I think
1995.
1995. Yes, it says a lot about our age. I first met him in 1995 when I was a high school teacher somewhere in Guyana in an agricultural high school. I was not teaching anything agriculture. I was teaching home economics, and he was an agricultural teacher. Patson, tell us a bit more about what inspired you to enter into the agricultural sector and to follow the teaching, pathway.
Thank you, Dr. Hlami. It started while I was still young, like while I was even still at primary school at Malamulele. Yes. I used to buy these seeds and plant and sell to communities while I was still doing standard 2 and standard 3. So I did not know that it's going to be big. Then I went into an agricultural high school. I enjoyed the subject so much. Then I pursued agriculture when I went to tertiary. So I did my first degree. It was Bachelor of Agriculture in Education. So we were measuring in plant production, animal production, soil science. Yes. Hence, I had a background of whether I want to work with livestock, I want to work with crops, because my junior degree was like that. Then as I proceeded, then I did an honors in agronomy. So I was specializing now in plant production.
I see.
Then I moved on, registered my master's then in agricultural extension, because now I was trying to focus on working with people, how to help people irrespective of what they are doing. So yeah, that's how I entered into agriculture.
What I'm hearing, you're actually demystifying so many myths, because I hear a lot of people saying young people do not like agriculture. But here you are telling me that actually agriculture chose you because you started, playing with plants and doing that as early as, grade 2. I think at that time it was standard, Standard?
Yeah, it was standard 2.
Standard
it's
2.
Grade 1, it's grade 4 or something.
It's grade 4, standard 2, yes.
I started there, and like I became very entrepreneurial in the time that my parents even assisted me to go and open post office bank. What is it? The post office book or what? Where I was
Yes.
depositing my 5 cent, my 10 cent, and so
Wow.
on. And by the time I passed my primary, I think I had almost 21 rand
And that was a
that
lot
I
of
had.
money. And that was
It
a
was a
lot of
lot of
money
money
that time.
because to buy that pack of seedling of spinach or cabbages,
Yes.
it was something like 3 cent or 4 cent. So
Wow.
yeah, it started
Okay.
long ago. I love it.
Wow. No, but also you are bringing the element of parents supporting, that idea. I hope, our listeners out there, when you see your young child, grade, now we are talking about grade 4 or earlier, when they start, playing with the seeds and all that, don't take it light. Support them, because you don't know what they will become. And today we are talking to someone who started that young and got, the support. And today he will be sharing with us what he's doing. Okay, so from high school, what happened then?
Yeah, from high school, I went to do agriculture at University of the North,
Yes.
or TEFLOP.
Yes.
Yeah, and after completing that, I got a job as at an agricultural high school, which is Ketonumalo Agricultural High School,
That's where we
and taught.
met. Yes,
That's
that's
where
where
we
we
met.
met. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then I started teaching there in 1995. So I stayed there for 10 years
Wow.
up until 2004.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, while we were there, the thing that I loved about teaching at Keto is the school farm was still operational.
Yes.
So we were doing a lot of work in the farm. So we were sort of even farm managers at the time.
Yes.
Because the farm had fruits, it had an orchard, a dairy, there's
Yes.
beef, cattle, chickens,
Yes.
vegetables. So my knowledge started expanding there, because
Yes.
when you're working is different to when you're at school, because at work you learn a lot of things that maybe were not there in the textbook.
Exactly.
And my love for agriculture started getting well in there, and
Yeah.
I stayed there, and then I moved. After 10 years, I joined Department of Agriculture
Okay.
at Tompisilika College of Agriculture.
You are following me, huh? Because I worked there too. Okay.
Yeah, it's like you went to work at Keto, I followed you. You went to
Yes.
Tompisilika College of Agriculture, I followed you.
Yes.
Yeah. So I went in there as a lecturer, so lecturing in plant production.
Okay.
But then the college changed now into a farmer training center.
Yes.
And we started training people in farming.
Yes.
But then I was put as a manager for the plant production section.
Okay.
But then I stayed there for 3 years, then moved on now to the private sector, but it was still in agriculture.
Yes.
To a company called MMI Biodiesel Incubator,
Okay.
where we were working with farmers around Sikukune to produce sunflower, then
Yes.
process that into biodiesel and also cooking oil. So we went into agro processing.
Yes.
Then I moved on to join Buhle Farmers Academy there.
Okay, and that's exactly what I want us to talk about. That Buhle, this one.
Yes.
What is it all about? And what is your role there at Buhle Farmers Academy?
Yeah, my role at Buhle Farmers Academy, I'm the CEO, Chief Executive Officer of Buhle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and our business is developing farmers. So Buhle Farmers Academy started in the year 2000 with the main aim of making people to live out of farming. In other words, we are not focusing much on subsistence farming and just having few small vegetable gardens, but we want as many people as possible to become commercial farmers. So our focus is training farmers. After they've been trained, we support them. So we do two services mainly, which is training and farmer support. So people will come from all over the country, and some come from other parts of Africa for us to train them. So when they go back home, we have field officers that go to their places, assist them with business plans, assist them in terms of getting funding, and let them start farm profitably and earn a living from farming.
Okay. This is very, very exciting. And I will come back to that just before we end the session, because I'm sure a lot of people are saying, but how do I get more information? How do I become part of, that Butle, Farmer Academy? I'll come back to that so that you can share a bit more information about that. So there is something, I'm very good at, stalking people. I actually call myself a professional mom gobozi, when you're kind of, stalking people and all that. And I know you share a lot on your social media platform. And one thing that, fascinates me about you. Okay. So one thing that fascinates me about you is that in most cases, people specialize. So you find somebody who is doing, a crop production, and they will specialize in crops, and also crop, value chain and all that. But what I have seen with you, you are an all-rounder. You talk crops, you are there. You talk, livestock, you are there. You talk, agro-processing, you are there. How do you would you say the fact that you started from teaching gives you an opportunity, or it forces you to understand the sector broadly? What is your take on that?
Yeah, I think from my side is because I like seeing people grow. And
Yes.
once you put people first, people have got different likes and dislikes.
Okay.
So I can't say, let me focus only on crop. What if someone come doing livestock or doing
Yes.
poultry to say, look, I need help. Where can I be? How can I be helped? I can't say, no, I'm specializing on this. So I think because of that, and because of the background of my first degree, where I was doing both plant and animal production, so I could understand what is happening in all sectors.
Okay.
So yes, and I mean, you surprised me by all these pictures. Yeah, you see that the one that with cabbage is there.
Yes.
I was in Vani.
This one.
I was in Vani there.
Yes.
We have a group of farmers, 10 farmers that we are helping to develop out there to become commercial farmers, where we are partnering with Netbank to do them, to help them.
Yes.
So that some cabbages in one of our alumni farms.
Okay.
And the other one at the bottom with a combine harvester, we're harvesting soya bean there.
Okay.
So that is our farm. So what we do as at Bushet, we believe that you can only train people to farm if you can also know how to farm. So we don't teach theory. So what we teach our students is what we are also doing.
Okay.
So there we were harvesting our soya beans, and in the middle there, those are broilers.
Yes.
Also again is at Buche Farmers Academy, where students are trained on how to raise chicken. And the one with eggs, that one is in my farm, because I also have a farm where I'm producing and selling eggs. The farm is around Giani at Skunyani. So there we were checking, we're doing quality tests, because you don't just produce eggs and you send them to the market, but you must check if your eggs, how long will it be, the shelf life, it will be so long. Check the quality of the yolk and the albumin and so on, because we are not just farming, but we are in the business of farming. So you need to do quality checks, quality control, so that you meet the SABS standards and so on.
So you become very competitive in the commercial sector, as you said from the beginning.
Yes, because understand one thing, if you go to the market, they are not going to ask you whether you are black or you're white or something like that. They'll just say, does your product meet the standards that they need? And that's all that they need. So that's what we do.
You are bringing something very valuable here. So there is no justification for hiding behind our blackness. That's what you are saying.
100%. produce quality. You see, in terms of market, if people want to make it in farming,
yes,
there are three things that they must know about markets. Market will need quality
yes,
of what you're producing. They will need quantity, that is the volumes of what they need.
yes,
And they will need frequency of supply of your
I see.
produce. So you can't supply now and say, next month I have nothing, that other one I have this. No. So you must produce quality, enough volume that they need, and
Yes.
do that regularly. That
Okay.
it has nothing to do with the color of a person or something. Anyone
Yes.
can enter into the formal market.
In the formal market. So you are saying, you can't say my produce is substandard because I'm black or because I'm previously disadvantaged. You have to up your game if you want to make it in that commercial space.
That's 100%, because when customers go into a retail shop, you don't go there to check who produced these eggs. You go there to see, are these products good enough for me to eat? That's all what you want. So we must always have that in mind.
Okay,
Yes.
so the value for money. I liked it because, okay, let me see what more surprises I can actually bring. Okay. So what is happening here? Where were you?
Okay, it looks like it was COVID time, but it was not even COVID time. The way I'm dressing then.
Yes, I can
But
see
there I
that.
was. Yeah, that I was in the Netherlands.
Okay.
That was a farm. That's a roses farm. So they plant roses throughout that.
Yes.
Smart farming, so to say.
Yes.
So we're going there to learn more and to exchange information with farmers in the Netherlands, because in the space where we are in, I mean, you'll understand, Netherlands is one of the biggest exporters of flowers in the world.
Yes.
Even though they are small,
Very
the Netherlands is smaller than Gauteng in terms of size, but they are exporting to the whole world. They are very big in agriculture, in export. But in South Africa, we've got big land, but the production is very low. So we're going there to learn how can we take some of the things that they are doing that side for us to implement this side. Because in most cases, more especially if you talk to Africans or Black Africans, if you talk of farming, they only think of cabbages and cattle. They forget about things like flowers. You can go into horticulture, dealing with flowers and so on. So we are learning that so that we can come back and impart the knowledge to upcoming farmers out there, so that South Africa in future can also be one of the biggest producer and exporter of different agricultural enterprises.
Okay, you know what? As you are talking, you mentioned three things. And I'm just saying, if there is someone who is not in the agricultural sector at all, the things that they might not understand. But I think I'm going to invite you once again so that we unpack these things. You spoke about, agronomy. Now you talk about horticulture, and you spoke about livestock. I'm just thinking about, that young person out there who is inspired, to look at agriculture a little bit as we are talking, but we are talking about these big terms and all that. Would you be interested for me to invite you so that we unpack what, opportunities are there from horticulture, livestock, aquaculture and all that? Would you be interested to do that at a later stage?
Yes. No, like I said initially, that's my passion. My passion is to make sure that we share as much information as possible.
Yes.
So that it can help others that might need that information to change their future. So I'm 100% open for that. Anytime you can give me a call and we can talk about it.
Definitely. I'll take you up for with that offer. So when people meet, the president, I see you there with the president of our country. I mean, you are rubbing shoulders with big people. What is going on here?
One thing I like is that I'm taller than him, but I'm not the president.
You are getting there. Yes.
No, there we, the president for many years now, I think for more than 10 years, he has started a foundation and where he is adopting schools. So schools.
Okay.
So I think at the moment they've got over 100 schools that they are supporting under Cyril Ramaphosa Foundation. So there it was during an event of Adopt a School, which I happened to attend, and I found myself next to the president.
Okay. Talking about that, I want to pose a challenge to you. Do you see a possibility where Buhle Academy could adopt a school? And one of the schools that you could adopt is the very same school where you started. You know, you spoke about Keto and Ngumalo Agricultural High School. And when you were talking about it at the beginning, you were saying you were doing farming and all that. And all I know now, there is not much going on. You know, the farm is there, but many high schools that used to specialize in farming and agriculture are not doing that anymore. Do you see a possibility? And I know I'm putting you on the spot now, but I'm so much passionate about going back to the basics, because I believe that if we teach agriculture from as early as high school, we can go far. And I see those, you know, former agricultural high school still having, you know, the infrastructure, but the infrastructure is not profitable anymore. Would you be interested, you know, to adopt Keto Ngumalo High School, and let's work together to resuscitate, you know, agriculture studies there?
Yes, no, that's true. I think because I stayed there for 10 years, the school is still in my heart,
Yes.
and it's saddening what's happening there at the moment. And I went there several times to speak to the principal, to speak to the chief of the community, to see what can be done. But yes, if an opportunity arises that we can adopt it and have enough funding to resuscitate it, we are welcoming. We can welcome that. We have done that with some schools, because where we are, for example, next to in Bronkhorstspruit, you know, there's a school for some people with disabilities. We have adopted them, start vegetable gardens. We've trained them.
Yes.
They are now making money from those crops. So we can do that. So we can adopt Keto or any other school as long as it is making business sense to us and also to them as a school.
Okay, so I'm actually throwing this as a challenge. Let us see, we could, because I'm also passionate about, you know, Keto, because that is the school that made me, you know. So yeah, so we have, you know, some common, you know, kind of, you know, platform or ground. Let's see if we can be able to mobilize resources. If there are people out there who are listening and they would like to support, you know, this initiative where we adopt, you know, agricultural high schools, we put all the energy there because they already have infrastructure. I think there were, I can't remember how many they are. I know Keto, there was one around, you know,
it was every let me say every homeland.
The former homeland.
Then.
Exactly.
So in the former Gazankulu, we had Ngumalo Agricultural High School.
Yes.
In the former Venda, we had Dimana Agricultural High School.
Yes.
And in the former Lebua, we had Harry Oppenheimer.
Harry Oppenheimer, yes.
Yes.
Exactly. And
so
also
even the other sort of Model Cs, your Kushki, your Marensky, and so on.
Okay, yeah, so I'm posing a challenge to you, Patson. I know, let's think about it afterwards. Let us identify those high schools where infrastructure is there, and I'm sure infrastructure will not be as good as it used to be. And let us see if we can mobilize, you know, resources, Department of Agriculture, Department of Education, and see if we cannot resuscitate, you know, agricultural studies and high school. I think that could be a nice challenge for us to look at.
Yes. Now it's a let's do anything possible
Yes.
to make agriculture grow.
Exactly.
Because there is one thing that I think some people are not realizing.
Mm-hmm.
If, for example, you look at South African economy,
Mm-hmm.
in the maybe the past 2 years,
Yes.
it is only 1 or 2 quarters where employment, for example, went down in
Yes.
agriculture.
Yes.
But for every single quarter, agriculture is the only sector which keep on employing more and more people. So that shows that there is potential in reducing unemployment if we can invest too much time and resources in agriculture, because that has been proven with the numbers from Stats SA.
Okay.
Even the last quarter, when they said our economy shrunk by 51%, one of the sectors that grew during that time is agriculture.
And it makes a lot of sense because, everybody has to eat.
Yes.
You cannot take break in eating. So it should make, sense that, agriculture should be the most profitable, sector, because everybody has to eat. So yes,
there is no excuse for not farming. It doesn't matter whether there's COVID or no COVID.
Yes.
Agriculture continues. Even during the lockdown, you remember the only sector worldwide where they said everything will stop, we're in level 5, except agriculture.
Yes, because it is an essential service.
Yes.
Okay, so after this show, let us put our heads together. Let's see if we can mobilize. We go to those agricultural high schools and see how we can actually resuscitate them. I don't have a lot of time to get all the information that you have. Lastly, I know people are asking themselves, how do we get more information about Butle? If I want to register with Butle, what is it that I need to do? What can you share on that?
Yeah, with us, firstly, people that we train, we need people that have got passion to farm. So passion is number one that we need. But because we are also offering accredited training, obviously people must be able to do basic calculations so that they can do budget, finances, and so on.
Yes.
But they must also have, in our admission, we need people that have got access to land, access to farming land. This does not mean ownership. It can be a family farm, communal land, or something. But so that when you finish here, we are able to follow up and assist you to start farming.
I hear you.
Because we don't judge our success by the number of people we train, but we judge our success by how many people are now farming commercially that went through our services. So to attend, they can go into our website.
Yes.
Which is www.buhle.org.za.
Yes.
Then they can get a form there and apply online. They don't have to complete paperwork.
Yes.
Or you can go into our Twitter page, which is at Buhle Farmers Academy.
Yes.
Then you can also get information in there. Or you can just call us directly in our offices.
Okay, so another thing that we are posing now as a challenge, you say as long as people have access to land.
Yes.
So maybe another challenge that we have to look at is to work with traditional leaders, because I know there is a lot of land in rural areas and all that. If traditional leaders could actually make the land available for the youth, and they could come to Butle and go back and farm in their communities, because I believe that communities have the power to be food secured if they put their resources together.
Yes, one thing that people make mistake on is I can be successful alone is very difficult.
Yes.
Which, in terms of agricultural development, we don't have to work in silos.
Yes.
So in other words, when we are training, we can't make everything change if we don't partner with people that have got land, if we don't partner with traditional authorities.
Yes.
But again, if you partner with people with land, it does not make sense, because land alone, without any funding resources, things cannot be done.
Exactly.
So that has been our approach for some time now. For example, we have partnered with NetBank. They come on with funding. We look on for traditional, people in rural communities, get land from PTOs, from chiefs. Then there's funding for them to start, startup capital. We come on, we train, we mentor them. In that sense, success is very fast.
Thank you.
So I agree with you 100% that we have to work with all these different sectors that are needed to make someone a successful farmer.
Exactly. Lastly, I have this passion, and I know it might look a little bit, ridiculous, but I'm studying a movement, a global movement, where I would like to see at least 30 million communities that are food secured by 2030, linking it to the Sustainable Development and Agenda 2030 in Africa. And listening to what you are saying and your model, I think if we can replicate your model, it is possible that we could get, those 30 million communities food secured by 2030. Do you think it's something doable?
Yes, it is. It is something doable. If we are a small organization and are able to reach these people that we are reaching now, if the same thing could be emulated somewhere, what has happened, we had a lot of visitors from different parts of Africa that came to us and said, look, we want to take this model that you are using and just go and replicate it in Nigeria or in Ghana or Tanzania and so on. And we said we are open for that. You can do that. Last time we went to Mozambique to go and look at certain areas where we can go and start this. So yes, it is doable, because we believe it is the only model. Not the only. Let me say it is the best model in terms of developing farmers. It's learn by doing approach.
Exactly.
Because many people make a mistake to say, we are training farmers, you rent a place in a hotel and nice, you have all those videos and so on. But people don't have time to they only learn farming by actually farming.
Farming, exactly. You learn you learn to do it by doing it.
That's how it is. And mostly because they say what you learn by doing, you hardly forget that one you learn by listening.
Yes. But what I also like is that you are looking at the systemic approach, the systems approach. You are saying to me, it's not about skills only. It's skills, it's land, there is the financial aspect and the technical, and all this together. And the right attitude, because what you said you want people with passion. So it's passion. So if we were to do a model here, it's passion, it's skills, it's the land, then and the resources, and the markets, of course. Then that can actually help a lot. Yeah. Okay. So thank you very much. Lastly, how do you motivate your learners or your students?
Look, every person is meant for a purpose.
Yes.
But the most important thing is to identify. And once you find that purpose, then lives become easier. Because if you run a purposeless, there's nothing that you'll achieve. There's nothing that you'll see. You'll see everything as an obstacle. But if you know your purpose, even when you meet obstacles, you just know that they are there on the way just to make you stronger. So everyone must identify your purpose and go for it. And life becomes simple.
Yes. No, thank you very much. I'm actually inspired. I wish we could go on and go on and go on, but I think this is what we have time for today. And definitely, I'm going to call you again just to unpack, those big terms of agronomy and horticulture, and you know. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have heard for yourselves. There is nothing that is stopping you to get into agriculture. Agriculture is one of the most, profitable, sectors, in the sense that, everybody have to eat, and there are a lot of opportunities. And I would like to call upon everybody, traditional leaders, farming, finance institutions, to really avail yourselves to partner with us and Butle, as we have heard, Department of Education, Department of Agriculture. Let us partner and resuscitate the agricultural high schools. Let us partner with traditional leaders to make, land available, so that, our young people can go and get skills and be helped to become commercial farmers and make our communities food secured. Thank you very much, Nyiko. It was very, very inspiring. And ladies and gentlemen, you know where to find me. You have to subscribe to get more information and follow us on social media. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I can now rest. I don't speak English for a very long time, but I tried my best. So thank you so much. Let me go and drink water, and we will definitely follow you on your channel. And thank you for the wonderful work that you're doing in helping other people.
Thank you. Bye-bye. God bless.